Hello everyone, you're welcome to this short video on how to um, create an internet facing load balancer with private subnet. After my class I had an assignment to do this and I was kind of facing some challenges, so I was like, okay, somebody might be facing the same challenges like me, so let me make a short video that it can help someone out there. All right, before we make this, set this load balancer on with a private subnet, there are some parameters that we need to put in place. Because it is private, that simply means that it's not going to directly face the internet. And if the private subnet has to go to the internet, we will need to set a NAT gateway. So basically, we will be setting our parameters and taking into consideration the NAT gateway and all of that. So I'm going to be using already created VPC and the subnets that I have. So I will just be attaching what I don't have here yet. So if you come here, you see I'll be using this awesome VPC. So I'll be using this one, and it already has its parameters set. So it has 4 subnets, 2 private subnets and 2 public subnets. So this is public and this is public, this is private, this is private, and equally has it route tables. So and I will equally be setting new route tables to be able to get connections right to. So if you look at the one that moves straight to the internet, here is a public subnet here that gets right up here, so which means I have internet gateway, but I don't have a NAT gateway. So for that reason, we are going to be starting with the NAT gateway. So if I come here, I will create, I will call this my private NAT gateway. Okay, and my private NAT gateway, and the NAT gateway is always associated with the public subnet. So I'm going to associate here with the public subnet. The public subnet has internet gateway to be able to move to the internet. So when you associate this, it's going to link you to the internet. So if I come down here, I'll allocate elastic IP. I think I still have one that I have not yet released. This one, you have to release this because it's costly. So I associate that one straightforward, and I create a NAT gateway. So with this NAT gateway created, the next thing that I will need to do is to route the traffic. So I will come to route table, and I will try to create a new route table here. So this is my route table. I can call it my private my private route table with NAT gateway. So with NAT, okay. So I will associate it with awesome virtual private cloud. This one, and that's it. I don't need to tag anything. Consider the same description that I have above, and I create it. So straightforward, it's created and it's local and it's active. So with this, I will go further to do some editing. First, I come to associate it. So it is a route table on net, so I will have to associate it with private subnets. So I'll have, this is one private subnet, one here, and another private subnet here. Remember, we are making a load balancer, and this load balancer has to be highly available. So making a load balancer that has to be highly available, I'm making them in 2 different availability zones. So you see here you have US East 1A and space is 1B. So that's it. And so I save this. Mm, so if I save it and come here, you see that it's been associated with this too. And what else do I need to put here? So equally here, let's edit this route by uh attach the NAT gateway. So if we come here, say add a route, and it's going to the internet, so it's from 0.00, I mean 0.0.0.0 slash this. And what am I bringing here? I'm bringing a NAT gateway. So where is the NAT? I called it my private NAT gateway. My private NAT gateway. Hopefully this one, and it should still be available because I created one. All right, so it's active and it's available. Okay, so good. So if we come here, I want to see my resource map, and take it up a little. If we come to this is public private, it's route throughout. See right here. So the private NAT gateway route all out here to the network connectivity. So I think this is already perfect. So the next thing will be at the level of my security. So I'll try to create a security group. But I'm not going to be creating a new one. I'm just going to show you the one that I've already created. You can go ahead and create a new one if you want, just to save time. There is nothing here that is new. So I have one here called my web security group, and it's okay. I describe it as private instance security group. So if you come here, okay, the parameters, the only parameters that are set here for the inbound rule, it's SSH and HTTP. That is port 22 and port 80. Now port 80 is listening to um port 80 here is the source here is coming from application load balancer. So basically I created first this one, my application load balancer security group here. That's one. Look at the parameters for application load balancer security group. The inbound rule has only HTTP, and the source is straightforward, the internet. It goes out here at 0.0.0.0/0. So when I come to create the my web security group or private instance security group, anyhow you want to call it, during my inbound rules I have SSH and I have HTTP. HTTP is the most important one because its source is where the source is directly application load balancer security group, because if we put the source straight to the internet, it means that we are not making it any longer um, a private, and we know that all the traffic that has to be sent to any server is based on what the load balancer will determine. So any person that has to come through the internet has to pass through the load balancer, and the load balancer now will redistribute the traffic to balance the load that is receiving, depending on the number of servers that it's going to be working on, just to balance the load and make sure that um, all the uh, all the server, I mean, you're getting the maximum out of what you want to get from the internet. So that's it. So I'm going to move straight to EC2, and let's create our service. I could come here and duplicate. So we can create our service. So go straight forward here. So this instance here, there's no instance running as of now. So I will launch here. and start one. So we just call this my private, I think we'll call it my private server, private server 1. And with private server 1, I'm just going to be using, for the quick start, I'll use Amazon Linux. And I'll go further to a free tier, of course, as a machine image that I'll be using. And I'll go further to use T2 micro. And then here I already have some key pairs that I've, you can always create your own if you want to, so but I have this key pair that I love using. Where is it? Here, add some key pair, that's when I'm using it. And network, here I do some editings here. Now the VPC required, I will be using awesome. Remember, it has to tie with your parameters from the network settings. So if I come to source of subnet, I'll be using private subnet. So I have private subnet 1, and so I'm using my private subnet here, this one, awesome private subnet. Yep, private subnet 1. Okay, so auto assign public, it's disabled because of course we are working with a private subnet, so I'm going to keep it. So I will select, for firewalls I will select an existing security group, and the security group that I'll be using here is private instance security group that I created, the one I showed you earlier. And leaving everything the same way, I can go down to advanced, and we advance. The only thing that I'll go to IAM instance profile, and I'll take a role that I already created earlier, which is season manager. Okay, so just take this one, session manager. So I'll get this one. It will help me to be able to load straightforward to. So if I come down here, I have a script that I already prepared for my class. So if I come down here, I will use the script here. So copy and come here for, script for user data. Remember, this is user data. So I paste it here, and everything looks perfect. So I launch this one, and then go ahead and launch the second EC2 instance. So if I come here, I will launch an EC2 here. I will call this as my private server 2. All right, so we're using quick Amazon this, everything being equal, free tier, and let's select the key pair here. I'm selecting awesome, and then I do editing here, and I will take awesome virtual private cloud, and I will go down here to take private subnet 2, then proceed to disable public IP, and then here I will select an existing security group, and the security group that I will be taking is this one, private security group. And from there I can advance down to IAM instance a profile, and I will take session manager and proceed down here and use my user data. So if I come here, I already have a pre-prepared user data, this one. I can always copy it and come here, right down here, and I have it. So launch this. So successfully launched. So in a few seconds we should be able to see it running. So if we come back to instances, let's see, the first one that will launch here, it's running already. And let's look at what we have here. All right, this is the new one that we just launched, this one, and it's running. So good. So if we try to test this one on the internet, of course we should not have any. All right, my next thing that I should do is go straight forward to create our target group. We know very well that the, like I said earlier, the load balancer is standing right in front of the desk and receiving traffic from the internet and then redistributing to various servers that we have available. So before it redistributes to the servers, it has the target groups, and these target groups are, of course, like the one we'll be working on, will be our private servers. So if we come down here, you see target group, and under the target group we can create a target group for the instances here. That's why we are concerned with instances. You could go with any other one, and so we could call this as my, I'd like to say my private target group. So send the protocol, it's still going to be listening from port 80. All right, okay, I go further to, it's relying on some VPC and the protocol called, we said HTTP. All right, let's go further to the health check. Is going to do his health check protocol HTTP, and using this path here to perform the check. So if we go down, we can go to next. So we have these two instances that are running, my private instance 2 and 1. So what we need to do here is to register target. So we get this one, and then we include them to pending below, like so. We have it here, this and this. All right, so we can create the target group created, and if you look at here, it tells you there are a total of 2 and healthy 0, unhealthy 0. So as of now it's unused because we just created. So once it has been created, we have to move straight forward to the next thing. The next thing is to create our load balancer. All right, so let's come back here again, and if you come down here, we have the load balancer, and we can create a load balancer. Now we are going to be using the application load balancer as the one we are using here. So if I pick application load balancer, basic configuration here will be my application, I will just say my private application load balancer. So, and we said that it should be internet facing. So if it's internet facing here, so it's the IPv4, so therefore it's relying on awesome VPC, and we have to do the mapping. There's mapping here, there is US is 1 here. The available subnet is not going to the internet, it has to be internet facing, so therefore we take public subnet 1, and here to the private internet 2 is not internet facing, therefore we have to take public subnet 2 that is internet facing. All right, so if we go to security group here, what is the security group? We created my application load balancer security group. That's the one we're using. So, and we know very well that we enable only HTTP, so it's going to be listening from port 80. And all right, and so what will be the target group from this? And our target group will be my private target group. Remember, we said my private target group with the two private subnets. So we go further to that's it. That's it. I think that's it. These are the things we are not concerned with this. And if we come right down here, just create process. Damn, created. All right. So you look at it here. It's been created. All right. So if we come here, network mapping. All right. It's here. Assigned. Assigned. And look at resource map here. So we created this one that moves from here and get down out here. Here to the target group here. Target group one, my private target group two, and come right down here. Alright, and let's go back to target group and see our health check, see what's going on there now. So if we come down to our target group here and highlight this one, it's still saying unhealthy, unused. Let's refresh it and see what will be next. So still unhealthy and unused. We're going to give it a couple of minutes for everything to run. Let's go up to our instances and see if they're running. And if I refresh it, yeah, this both instances are running perfect. So let's go to load balancer and see if it's active. Okay, let's see here. Still provisioning. See, provisioning. So if you give it a couple of minutes, it should be. So if we want to look it back to what we did, we simply working on internet facing. I mean, we are working on. Hold on 1 second. So presently we are working on internet facing load balancer with private subnets, and the parameters that we said, we started simply working from provisioning a NAT gateway, and we routed the NAT gateway, and we were able equally to create two security groups: the private our private instance security group that was relying on the load balancer, and we equally created the load balancer that the traffic was redirected to the internet, and the traffic from the our private instances were redirected to the load balancer. So now if we come back here, we see it's already active, right? So if it's active, we should go back to our target group, and under the target group here, let's refresh it again and see what it's saying. 2 unused. Let's refresh it again. Refresh it again. Refresh it again. What's going on? It's taking longer than I expected. Alright, come back here. Okay. Okay, I was on the wrong area. Okay, right here we have 2, and if we come here, we have already 2 that are healthy. See that? So I think I did not show this to you. At first it was showing unhealthy, but now it is healthy, which means that our setup is perfect. So we have 2 that are healthy. If you come to details here, you will see we had 2 and 2 that are healthy, and 0 that is unhealthy. And I think that is all. So if we copy our let's go back to load balancer here and copy the DNS and test it on the internet. Let's see what result it will give us here. First it, because we have the route table, because we have the NAT gateway, should be able to go to the internet for update. Alright, so let's refresh it and refresh it. So I'm happy that I am able to succeed up to this blue page. And if you refresh it again, happy that I'm able to get to red page. You should be, or they're supposed to be, should be excited as well. Alright, thank you. Hope this helped you. And that's it. Alright, bye.